Hi, I'm Richard Randall, and welcome to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. This is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate with Colorado's Real Estate Authority, Barb Schlinker. Barb Schlinker is a retired Navy veteran. Barb is an author. Barb's also a pilot, and Barb and her team enjoy all that Colorado and the Front Range have to offer. Barb, always great to be talking with you. Now, we air Your Real Estate Voice every Saturday, and if you can't listen to the entire show, it is always available on Barb's site. That's barbhasthebuyers.com, or go ahead and search Barb on most of the popular podcast platforms. You'll find her there. Every week, Your Real Estate Voice covers great information about your primary asset. That would be your home. So, Barb, what are we going to be covering today?
Well, Richard, I'm excited about today's show because things are changing a lot in the real estate industry in general. Plus, the market has shifted. It's way different than it was last year. So, we're going to deep dive into some of the things that are going to change, that have changed, and some could be for the better. The first one we're going to talk about is how do you find a buyer for your home? Now, most people just hire an agent to do that. And sometimes that may not be the best solution. So we're going to give you lots of options and lots of ideas on how to get that right. And then the second topic we're going to talk about, I'm on this topic, I named it in honor of my favorite Rush Limbaugh, how to prevent low information agents from sabotaging your home sale. I know that seems pretty extreme, but the truth is they do that under the guise of fiduciary, and it creates a miserable experience. So if you know it's coming, you can plan for it. And we're going to talk about some of those things. Also, how much would a buyer likely pay for your home? That's the number one question I get from home sellers. What's my home worth? Or sometimes they have their own ideas about what it's worth. So we have to show them what the market's doing right now to give them realistic expectations so they know going forward how they are successful in the sale of their home. And last but not least, this is another question I get very frequently is what do I need to do to prepare my home for sale? So we're actually going to give you a checklist on how to get your house ready for sale. And as always, I love talking about our hot new listings. Richard?
So, Barb, the market has certainly changed in the last year. It's causing some people to wonder if their home is ever going to sell. We know your site is named Barb Has the Buyers, and I know from referring you to my friends, relatives, that you come up with buyers for homes all the time. Tell us how you do it.
Well, it's very interesting. First of all, I'm marketing for buyers in all aspects of my real estate business. I am marketing to attract buyers either to my listings or what we have to offer is to find them homes that they cannot find on the internet. And in general, most buyers connect with a real estate agent online. And oftentimes there's absolutely zero vetting that takes place with that. So they happen to see a home on Zillow or Realtor.com or some other tech company site, and the buyer says, "Hey, I think I'd like to see that home. Is it available?" And the agent goes, "Let me check." And they bring up the typewriter and type it up, go, "Oh, yeah, it's available. Would you like to see it?" And so the very first meeting with that buyer is at the house. There has been absolutely no vetting that takes place. These agents don't know if these buyers can buy any home, let alone that home. Also, the state doesn't require them to know whether or not they qualify for a home. They also don't know what they're looking for. So imagine if you're a home seller, you put your house on the market and okay, you have a scheduled showing and you get all excited and you think, oh, the buyer must love this home because they've seen the pictures and they want to come check it out. But in the meantime, whoever they connected up with, this random real estate agent that does not know the home and does not know the buyer, shows up at the door. They walk through, they take a look at it, and they reject it, sometimes for reasons that don't make sense. As an example, let's say it's a ranch style home, and suddenly as a home seller, you're getting feedback. Oh, well, my buyer really wanted a two-story. Really? Well, why are you even looking at this home? It doesn't make sense. That's because most agents don't sit down with their buyers and actually educate them about the market, educate them about how they can win when they buy a home, educate them about how they're going to find them the home, and educate them about the market conditions, home values, things like that. So when they do find the right home, they can position the buyer to get them the home that they want. They don't do that. They show up, open the door, and hope it works. And the thing that's surprising to me is the state doesn't even require the agent to verify that the buyer has the ability to perform, even if they get the buyer under contract, which is to me absolute insanity. So it makes it very frustrating for home sellers because they're thinking that everybody that comes and schedules a viewing of the home actually wants to see their home. And unfortunately, whoever does happen to open that door for them may know very little about the house. We have a name for those, Richard. Do you remember what I used to call them?
It has to do with something popping out of your toaster, doesn't it?
That's right. I call them Pop-Tart agents. They get a call to, oh my God, I get to go show a home. They pop out of their toaster, they show up at the house, open the door, and just hope and pray the buyer can buy and wants to buy a home like that. But here's the problem. Many times they haven't done any research about the home. They haven't looked into the home. You know, if I'm showing a house, I at least am going to take the MLS listing in there with me because I know when I'm walking through a home, the buyer's going to be asking me questions. They're going to assume I'm the expert. They're going to assume I know everything there is to know about the house. But that's not how it really works. The agents open a door and stand there and kind of say kind of silly things. Like, as an example, just last weekend, we had a showing on one of my listings. This quote, agent or door opener was standing right next to the air conditioner compressor, explaining to the buyer in his way of handling an objection to say, well, you could put AC units in the window. That would work fine for that. It's like he doesn't know what central air looks like. He's standing right next to it. I mean, it's just shocking to me, the stuff that goes on. And of course, we got it all on camera. That's another thing they don't pay attention to. Don't you think that many of the homes available for sale right now are going to have cameras either at the door or inside the home or outside? But they still stand out there and blab the dumbest things. Like they stand there and tell their buyers to position themselves as experts. It's not worth that much. And it's like, well, how do they know? You know, I have a hard time getting the agents to read the showing instructions, let alone, know any information about the house. And I have to go to great lengths to really educate the buyers about the house, either before they get in the door or after they get in the door. So it's really important who you choose to help you buy a home these days and get the right buyer. And the problem is if that person that meets that agent there thinks that the agent is an expert and the agent is standing there going, it's not worth that much. And they encourage the buyer to make a low offer, then the buyer doesn't get the house that they love. They believe that agent. They move on to the next house without even realizing that it's a good buy for that home. There's even companies out there that pay real estate agents to open doors, $50, $70. The way I found out was from one of my clients. She called me, she goes, hey, Barb, this is great. I can call this company and have them show me a house, anything I want to see, 7 o'clock at night. I'll go look at it and then I'll call you to make the offer. How's that sound? I'm like, okay, if that's what you want to do. But I was shocked at that that's what they do. They don't have a relationship with these buyers. They're just performing a function like licensed door openers. And guess what? Do those licensed door openers actually write the offer? No, they don't write the offer. They hand it off to their sales expert. And maybe the sales expert might educate themselves about the house. I don't know. But it is the most insane stuff that I see going on in the real estate industry right now. And I'm really, really glad it's going to change. Even when we have our tour of homes, our open houses, I see agents show up there all the time, and it's obvious to me they're meeting that buyer for the first time. So when they walk up to register, they'll look at us and go, "This is my buyer." I've even had agents trying to scalp buyers from the line outside the open house just to get business. That's how desperate and untrained they are. So if you are thinking of making a move, yes, we have buyers. We have over 27,881 buyers in our database of buyers in waiting. We also have 64 high net worth cash buyers. So typically we could find at least 100 buyers that could match your home. And so if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call. We're going to match our buyers to your home first and create as much demand as possible so you get the most money. Give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice. That's Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold, Guaranteed Realty. And you can always reach Barb and her team at 719-301-3900. We're talking about the shift in the real estate market. Barb, where do you think this real estate market is headed right now?
Well, it's really interesting to see the changes just compared to from this year to last year. So last year, 2023, even though the rates were higher after the Fed stepped on the gas with interest rates, from February through June, we saw prices go up, 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 up. Why is that? Typically, the springtime, there's lower inventory, yet there's good demand that time of year. It didn't happen this year. Why is that? Well, the rates are a point and a quarter higher than they were a year ago. So that creates a lot of demand destruction all by itself because every time you go up a point in interest rates, it drops the buyer demand by 10%. And we're seeing almost exactly that in the market. Sales are down by 15%. Inventory's up by 30% right now. There's more homes to compete with. And that means when you let somebody handle the sale, you want to make sure that you position the home to get the most money. It doesn't mean ask for the moon for your house, right? Because not everybody knows how to price a home correctly. And the old theory about pricing homes is not working right now because the market is shifting. So if you are thinking of making a move and you'd like to find out how to price your home to get the most money, what my sense is it's still going to be a good, strong market, but it's not going to be the same as it was a year before. You're going to have more competition. We're seeing the prices a little bit lower than they were a year ago. Okay, so what does that mean? That means you have to price it right. Take a look at your competition because there's a lot more choices out there for buyers, including new construction. So if you want to make a move, and you'd like to talk to us about what to do, what not to do to get your house ready for sale, and have us show you all of our buyers. We show up with a stack of cash offers on your home, and nobody else does that. Give us a call, 719-301-3900, or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. If you're thinking of making a move, call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. When we come back, we'll be talking about how to prevent low information agents from sabotaging your home sale. Stay tuned for that.